Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain was so dominant that the NBA had to introduce several rules to balance the game. His unmatched scoring ability led to the widening of the lane, making it harder for him to stay close to the basket. He was so athletic that he would leap from the free throw line to dunk, which resulted in a rule banning free throw dunks. Offensive goaltending was also introduced because Wilt could easily tap shots into the basket directly from above the rim. His impact was so immense that he didn't just put up historic numbers, he forced the league to adjust its very structure. Chamberlain's dominance proved that one man could change the entire competitive balance of basketball, and he remains one of the rare athletes who shaped the evolution of NBA rules simply through his overwhelming physical superiority and skill set. Zaza Pachulia. Zaza Pachulia is not a superstar like many others on this list, but his actions on the court led directly to a significant NBA rule change. During the 2017 Western Conference Finals, Pachulia's closeout on Kawhi Leonard caused a major ankle injury that shifted the series. The incident highlighted how defenders could intentionally step under shooters to create dangerous situations. As a result, the NBA established what is often called the Zaza rule. Under this rule, referees are allowed to review closeouts and determine whether a defender invaded the shooter's landing space intentionally, upgrading fouls to flagrants if necessary. This rule was designed to protect shooters from unnecessary risk and ensure player safety. Even though Pachulia was never a star, his controversial play permanently changed how referees officiate closeouts, proving that any player can leave a lasting mark on the game through unique circumstances. Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal's dominance in the paint forced defenses and the NBA itself to adjust. His size, strength, and skill made him nearly unstoppable near the basket. Teams often resorted to intentionally fouling him, knowing that his poor free throw shooting was a weakness. This led to the strategy widely known as hack-a-Shaq. Although intentional fouling already existed, Shaq's career popularized the tactic to such an extent that the league had to reconsider its impact on the flow of games. Eventually, the NBA changed rules around intentional fouls to limit their excessive use, especially away from the ball in the final minutes. Beyond that, Shaq's sheer power caused rims and backboards to break, which encouraged the league to upgrade equipment standards. His presence wasn't just felt in highlight reels, he literally reshaped how the game was played, defended, and even how basketball arenas were built for durability. Allen Iverson, AI. Allen Iverson revolutionized basketball with his speed, scoring, and fearless attacking mentality. At 6 feet tall, he dominated taller defenders with agility, quick crossovers, and relentless drives to the basket. To limit his impact, the NBA emphasized hand-checking rules, initially allowing more contact, then restricting defenders from impeding offensive players with extended arms or physical interference. AI's scoring ability forced teams to adopt zone schemes or double teams to contain him, influencing defensive strategies league-wide. Beyond rules, Iverson's style inspired a generation of smaller, dynamic guards who relied on skill, quickness, and craftiness instead of sheer size. His influence reshaped offensive play, creating faster-paced, guard-oriented basketball while prompting the league to refine defensive rules to ensure fairness without diminishing his explosive style. George Mikan. George Mikan, the NBA's first dominant big man, changed the league fundamentally. Standing 6 feet 10 inches in an era with shorter players, he could overpower opponents in the paint with ease. To counter Mikan, the NBA widened the lane from 6 to 12 feet in 1951, known as the Mikan rule, preventing him from staying near the basket all game. Additionally, goaltending rules were introduced to stop him from simply swatting shots on their way down. Mikan's dominance accelerated the league's development, emphasizing strategic spacing and defensive planning against big men. His impact went beyond statistics. He helped the NBA gain credibility and structure, ensuring that no single player could control the court entirely. Mikan's legacy as a rule changer still resonates, showing how one player's dominance can shape professional basketball. Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley, nicknamed the Round Mound of Rebound, was a unique combination of strength, agility, and leaping ability. Despite being undersized for a power forward at 6 feet 6 inches, Barkley dominated the boards against taller opponents, using his body and timing to snatch rebounds and create second-chance opportunities. To limit his advantage, defenses began emphasizing box-out rules more strictly, and officials paid closer attention to over-the-back fouls, as Barkley's aggressive rebounding often drew contact calls. Barkley's versatility also forced teams to rethink defensive matchups, as he could score, assist, assist, and rebound at elite levels. His ability to handle the ball and drive in traffic reshaped expectations for forwards, proving size isn't always necessary to dominate physically. Barkley's influence extended beyond his stats. He helped define a style of all-around forward play and contributed to adjustments in rebounding enforcement to balance fairness and excitement on the court. Stepien was more infamous as an NBA team owner than a player, but his influence on the league's rules is notable. As owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers in the early 1980s, Stepien made poor trades that depleted the team's talent, including selling draft picks without strategic planning. His mismanagement prompted the NBA to implement the Stepien rule, preventing teams from trading consecutive future first-round draft picks, ensuring long-term franchise stability. While not a star on the court, Stepien's decisions changed NBA governance. Emphasizing accountability for owners, this rule protects teams from destructive trades that could cripple their future competitiveness. Stepien's legacy is a cautionary tale about the off-court impact one individual can have on league rules, demonstrating that influence in basketball is not limited to athletic performance, but also extends to management decisions affecting fairness and sustainability in the sport. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the NBA's all-time leading scorer, changed basketball with his unstoppable skyhook. Standing 7 feet 2 inches with exceptional agility, Kareem dominated both scoring and rebounding. To slow him down, teams developed the no-hand-check rules and emphasized defensive strategies like double-teaming in the post. Referees monitored defenders closely, limiting overly physical tactics against him. Kareem's longevity and consistent dominance forced the league to adapt, highlighting perimeter defense, spacing, and specialized matchups. His influence extended beyond the court, as his skyhook became a fundamental skill studied by generations. Rule changes targeting post defense and physicality against elite big men were partly inspired by Kareem's ability to consistently outmaneuver opponents. His impact reshaped offensive and defensive strategies alike, making him not just a statistical legend but a transformative figure in how basketball was played and officiated. James Harden is one of the NBA's most prolific scorers, known for his step-back three-pointer and ability to draw fouls. His skill in initiating contact while maintaining balance has led referees to scrutinize defensive positioning more closely, refining rules around blocking fouls, verticality, and shooting space. Harden's offensive mastery prompted discussions about unfair advantage tactics, and the league occasionally emphasized consistent foul calling standards to maintain fairness. His isolation-heavy style also influenced team offenses, as more squads built around pick and rolls and spacing to replicate his scoring efficiency. Harden's creativity reshaped how scoring and foul drawing are approached, forcing defenders to adjust strategically while adhering to precise rules. His combination of craftiness, shooting range, and savvy exploitation of defensive mechanics has made him both a controversial and revolutionary figure, highlighting how a player's skill set can drive rule interpretations and officiating standards in modern basketball. Darryl Dawkins, famously nicknamed Chocolate Thunder, was a dominant and powerful center known for his explosive dunks. Dawkins' athleticism and strength often shattered backboards, prompting the NBA to introduce breakaway rims to prevent equipment damage and increase player safety. Beyond his dunking, Dawkins' physical presence in the paint required tighter officiating regarding offensive and defensive fouls. His high-flying style energized fans and forced teams to consider rim protection strategies more carefully. Dawkins' flamboyant personality and unique playing style left a lasting impact, making him one of the first players to combine power, showmanship, and influence on equipment-based rule adjustments. The league's adaptations to counteract backboard damage ensured the game remained exciting but safer, illustrating how a single player's approach could directly inspire both rule changes and equipment innovation in professional basketball. Michael Jordan, widely regarded as the greatest basketball player ever, redefined scoring, athleticism, and competitiveness. His acrobatic drives, mid-air creativity, and clutch performances forced defenders into aggressive fouls and strategic adjustments. To counter Jordan, referees began enforcing stricter rules against hand-checking, illegal contact, and overly physical defense, particularly on perimeter players. Teams also developed double-teaming and zone variations to slow him down, Though few succeeded consistently, Jordan's ability to create shots anywhere on the court pushed offensive innovation, inspiring faster-paced, perimeter-oriented basketball. His dominance extended beyond statistics. He changed marketing, fan engagement, and global perception of the NBA. Jordan's influence on rules and defensive strategies shows how one player's combination of skill, intelligence, and physicality can drive league-wide adaptations. He not only forced defensive innovations, but also indirectly encouraged rule standardization to maintain fairness while allowing offensive excellence, cementing his legacy as a transformational figure both on and off the court. Larry Bird, known for his clutch shooting and high basketball IQ, forced defenses to adapt constantly. His ability to read plays, deliver pinpoint passes, and score from long range made him a nightmare for opponents. To limit his effectiveness, teams emphasized switching defenders, zone adjustments, and physical contact within legal limits. Bird's deadly accuracy from three-point range helped popularize perimeter shooting, reshaping offensive strategies. Officials had to monitor hand-checking and off-ball fouls more closely to contain his scoring and passing efficiency. Bird's poise under pressure and leadership inspired a generation of smart, versatile players who could impact multiple facets of the game. His influence extended to both gameplay and rule enforcement, showing how skill, court vision, and strategy could push the NBA to refine defensive and contact regulations while preserving fairness. Bird remains a model for how intelligence and precision can force rule evolution. Kevin Durant, KD, Kevin Durant, with his rare combination of height, shooting touch, and agility, is nearly impossible to guard. At 6'10", he can score over almost any defender, making traditional closeouts and shot contests less effective. Defenders often rely on hand-checking, verticality, and reach adjustments, prompting referees to clarify rules on contact and shooting space. Durant's offensive versatility forces teams to employ double teams or switch heavy defenses, while rule enforcement ensures fouls are called consistently, maintaining balance. His scoring from anywhere on the floor, combined with his ability to create off the dribble, has influenced defensive schemes league-wide. KD's style highlights the modern need for spacing, perimeter defense, and efficient rotations. His skill set has not only driven strategic adjustments, but also indirectly influenced officiating trends to prevent unfair defensive contact, making him a significant factor in the ongoing evolution of NBA gameplay. Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller, one of the greatest sharpshooters in NBA history, forced defenders to rethink perimeter defense. Known for clutch three-pointers and fearless scoring, he often pulled defenders away from the basket, stretching defenses and creating lanes. To limit Miller, teams emphasized closeouts, hand-check restrictions, and off-ball defensive positioning. His tendency to bait defenders with movement and trash talk required careful monitoring of physical and verbal contact. Miller's presence popularized three-point specialization, influencing spacing, rotations, and late-game strategy. Officials adapted to ensure defenders could contest shots without committing excessive fouls, balancing fairness and offensive freedom. Beyond statistics, Miller's mental toughness and precision made him a template for elite shooters, demonstrating how perimeter threats can drive both defensive innovation and rule adjustments. His career shows that influence on the game isn't limited to size or athleticism, but can stem from skill, strategy, and timing. Rasheed Wallace. Rasheed Wallace was an imposing power forward center known for both skill and temper. Defensively versatile and offensively capable, he could shoot from outside while protecting the paint. Wallace's aggressive play style often resulted in technical fouls, leading to stricter enforcement of unsportsmanlike conduct and technical foul regulations. His presence in the post and perimeter required opponents to carefully navigate fouls and spacing, influencing defensive tactics. Rasheed's ability to stretch defenses as a big man, combined with emotional volatility, meant referees needed consistent monitoring, prompting discussions on behavioral rules. He influenced coaching and officiating approaches, emphasizing discipline, positioning, and mental control on the court. Wallace's career illustrates that a player's impact can extend beyond statistics, as his unique combination of size, skill, and temper-shaped rules regarding both gameplay and sportsmanship. Tucker, P.J. Tucker. P.J. Tucker is known for his defensive tenacity, physicality, and ability to guard multiple positions. While not a dominant scorer, his aggressive closeouts, screens, and off-ball defense often challenged even the league's best players. Defenders and referees had to carefully monitor legal contact, as Tucker's style pushed boundaries in terms of physicality and hustle. His ability to defend shooting guards, forwards, and even big men forced teams to adjust offensive spacing, pick-and-roll strategies, and ball movement. Tucker's impact highlights the importance of role players who can change games through defense and effort rather than scoring. While he hasn't directly inspired a formal NBA rule like some superstars, his style contributes to ongoing refinements in defensive rules and officiating standards. PJ Tucker exemplifies how relentless defense, versatility, and toughness can influence gameplay dynamics and team strategy, proving that the NBA is shaped by more than just scoring stars. Dwyane Wade. Dwyane Wade, one of the most explosive shooting guards in NBA history, combined agility, slashing ability, and defensive skill. Wade's drives often drew contact, prompting stricter enforcement of foul and hand-checking rules to protect both him and defenders. His quick first step and athleticism made him difficult to guard, influencing defensive schemes like double teams, help defense rotations, and closeout timing. Wade's ability to finish at the rim in traffic also pushed the league to refine rules around verticality, blocking fouls, and restricted area violations. Beyond scoring, he contributed as a defender and leader, forcing teams to respect his presence on both ends of the floor. Wade's style illustrates how athleticism and craftiness can drive subtle rule changes, ensuring player safety while maintaining competitive intensity. His influence helped shape modern guard play, combining offensive creativity with strategic awareness. LaMarcus Aldridge. LaMarcus Aldridge, a skilled big man, excelled with mid-range shooting, post moves, and pick-and-pop plays. His height, footwork, and shooting touch forced defenders to respect both perimeter and post threats. While not a rule changer like Shaq or Wilt, Aldridge's precise play highlighted nuances in hand-checking, verticality, and post-defense rules. Defenders had to avoid excessive contact while contesting shots, and referees monitored physicality closely in the paint. Aldridge's mid-range proficiency encouraged spacing-focused offenses, with teams designing plays around his ability to stretch the floor. His style exemplifies how traditional big men adapted to modern NBA play, influencing defensive positioning, rotation strategies, and officiating emphasis. Aldridge's career demonstrates that even subtle skill sets can push adjustments in gameplay and rules, especially for protecting shooters and ensuring fair defense while maintaining the flow and excitement of the game. Derrick Rose, D-R-O-S-E. Derrick Rose, the youngest MVP in NBA history, electrified the league with speed, explosiveness, and agility. His ability to attack the rim against larger defenders forced stricter enforcement of hand-checking and defensive contact rules to prevent injuries. Rose's quickness and finishing ability in traffic made traditional perimeter defense challenging, prompting teams to emphasize help defense, rotations, and verticality standards. His rise in style inspired faster-paced offenses and guard-centric schemes, encouraging scoring creativity from smaller dynamic players. Officiating also adapted to protect players with explosive athleticism, emphasizing fouls on reckless or overly physical challenges. Derrick Rose's impact shows how a combination of speed, skill, and creativity can influence rules, defensive approaches, and overall league strategy, proving that even smaller guards can reshape the game's mechanics and officiating standards. Ron Harper. Ron Harper, a versatile guard forward, combined defense, basketball IQ, and efficient scoring. Harper's ability to guard multiple positions while contributing offensively forced teams to consider matchup-based defensive adjustments. Although not a dominant scorer, his length and anticipation influenced rules around hand-checking and perimeter defense, as referees needed consistency in evaluating contact. Harper's defensive positioning and ability to disrupt offenses without fouling exemplify strategic play, emphasizing technique and timing. He contributed to a shift in valuing versatile defenders who could impact the game across positions. Harper's career illustrates that influence in basketball extends beyond statistics. Skillful defenders can prompt subtle refinements in rule enforcement and strategy, showing that adaptability and intelligence are as crucial to shaping the game as scoring dominance or athletic feats.